Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and this is my channel, Her Pacific Northwest Washington Life. And today we are kicking off the week 25 reading vlog. So last week I had two books that I had started and not finished to carry over to this week. So I think I only got through one chapter in Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell last night. So I have been listening to that on audiobook. This is a reread for me, but it's also a buddy read with my friend Eric over at the channel Break Even Books. It's his first time reading it, so really excited for him to see the events that unfold and be able to chat with him along the way. I just have to be really good about not spoiling anything, but it's great because as soon as things happen, if he wants, he can like message me and ask or like vent out some feelings, because there's some very frustrating parts that happen within that series that he'll come to very soon. But I have been listening to it today and I made it through chapter 17, which is where I'm going to stop for the evening, just because Eric is reading it physically. I know he devoured the first 9 chapters yesterday or last night when he started, but I wasn't entirely sure like how much he would be able to get through today, though he seems pretty confident that he's going to get a lot. But if he gets ahead of me, then that's fine. I'll just be able to catch up with him tomorrow. And then the other book I had carry over is The Gold Sun by Carrie Ann Noble, which I only managed to read a chapter of last night before I fell asleep. I was almost falling asleep with my Kindle in my hand and it almost hit me a couple times in the face. So I had to put that away, but I really would like to, as soon as I'm done editing a video I have here, I'd really like to sit down and read a good chunk of it. That way I can either finish it tonight or tomorrow night, because I do need to get going on my third book in the Make Your Myth Taker Readathon, which is Blanca y Roja, and it's another physical book for me, so I want to get through that before the end of this week. That way I only have my last one for the last week of June. So that's going to be the plan. I am editing my video that's going up Thursday of this week, which is my next bi-monthly TBR, so for July and August. So I'm really excited for that. And other than that, Skylar should be home tonight. He was in Central Oregon, almost in, oh gosh, where was he? I don't remember where he said he was. This afternoon around 11, and it's now 1, so he should be home in about 4 hours from his trip that was supposed to be a week and a half, that he managed to make only a week. So really looking forward to having him home, but it does mean that there will be some socializing cut into my reading time, since I'll now have to spend the evenings with him, but that's okay. The dogs are excited to have him home. They're also going to go crazy because the mailman's here. So I'm going to end this off here and I will check in with you when I have another update. The mailman brought goodies, so I wanted to show you. I have washi from Bloomsicle, and then I have some Hobonichi kits from Sweet Kawaii Design. So I'll start with Bloomsicle. Well, this was the latest release that came out. I bought the, I don't think there's a slip that says what it is, but there's this kind of fairy tale like washi set. You've got the kind of Snow White like princesses here, and then you've got bows and apples, and then just this with kind of apples and leaves and stuff that I think is going to be perfect for fall. And then there is a set of 3, but also some Oops washi in this next one, which is fairies. So I believe the top bows are the Oops because it's got a different foil than the rest, but you've got, I've got 2 rows of bow washi. These have dragonflies and these are just different fairies and things. which I'm planning to use in my July planner setup just because it's so bright and vibrant, and it's like the best option I have for July since I missed out on her mermaid washi tapes. It came with a journaling card, which is beautiful and foiled and just has a basic flower print on the back. There's also this freebie sticker here, which is foiled as well. And then I bought these 2 tall sidebar stickers, which I still haven't decided how I'm going to use them, because I use the sidebar in my monthly to mark readathons and buddy reads I do throughout the month. So I could figure out a different way to do that, and that would help. And then I could use those, but we'll see. And then for Sweet Kawaii Design, I got another journaling card here that says, every day is a fresh start. Then this was the freebie that came with it. And this is Darshell's current freebie because she is a PR girl for Sweet Kawaii Design. And I used her name as a discount on the website. So then I got these during $2 Tuesday, so each sheet is $2. But you've got 4 date covers there with date dots. Then I got 2 of the sheet, which has the checklist and weekly schedule, your habits, and other things like that. And then the last sheet is washi. So this is enough for, 2 weeks. And yeah, I think it'll look nice in my work planner. So I just finished editing my bi-monthly TBR that is exporting right now, so I'm going to get that uploaded. And I'm currently listening to some more of the Appendix A of The Return of the King so that I can get that done. I have just a little over an hour left in that. So I'll listen to a bit more, and then after that I am going to change out of my jeans and plunk down on the couch, snuggle the dogs, and read some of my book to hopefully finish that out. We'll see how that goes though. So now I'm going to clean up my mess and get back to other things. I love cocoa so much. So I have a reading update. I finished The Gold Sun last night by Carrie Ann Noble, and I'm giving it a 4-star rating. This story took a weird turn that I didn't know if I would be okay with or not. There was a large jump in years between the events in the first part and the events in the second part. And typically that makes me so sad because I feel like the characters miss out on like so much that they would have been able to have had it not happen like that. So I don't usually like that, but this one worked out well. The ending was absolutely perfect for me because things were wrapped up very nicely. It ended exactly how I wanted it to. And I just had a lot of fun reading this story. I'm still pretty new to reading books about the Fae. I've read quite a few this year already, but mostly when I do, it is about fairies. And this one was about leprechauns, which I thought was a nice different take in perspective and stuff. So learning about their tricks and ways and things like that was really nice. And I just enjoyed the story. I really liked the relationships within this. I liked the romance. I liked the events that happened and how they unfolded and other such things. So I really enjoyed reading that book. And I'm happy because It's one of the books that I owned prior to 2020 on two different formats. I had it on Kindle and Audible, so I got to check off a box of each for getting down my TBRs prior to 2020, which is so satisfying and very nice. I've also listened to a little bit of Spellslinger this morning. I think I listened to 2 chapters, and before Eric went to work or this morning, he got to page 204, which I don't know what chapter that is, but I think I'm not too far behind him. I think I'm probably like 2 chapters or so behind him, which is fine. I do most of my reading of that book during the day, and he does most of his reading of the book during the evening. So as long as I get a good chunk in, I'll be ahead of him, and then he'll probably catch up to me this evening. This is the first time we've done a buddy read together where we didn't plan out how many chapters we're reading each day. So it's kind of nice to just be able to go with the flow a little bit, and especially because this is a reread for me, it doesn't matter so much if I fall behind or I guess if I get ahead either. We're basically just going at whatever pace Eric needs to be able to read this, since it's his first time reading through. But I think we're both really enjoying this. I did read yesterday through the part that almost made me DNF it the first time around, which is the part that has the majority of the animal cruelty in it. But listening to it, especially because I'm listening to it at a faster speed than normal, it got through that part really fast, so it was fine. Eric really likes the squirrel cats, and so do I, but I know I mentioned it to him. The narrator for this book is not good. I am only listening to it through Audible this time because I have already read it before and wanted to do a reread because I felt like there was a lot I missed out and a lot in the pronunciation I wasn't getting. So I wanted to listen to the audiobook to hear how they pronounce things. And I feel like it's helping, though I'm also realizing that I was pronouncing things right the first time, I guess. But the narrator is not good. He does awful voices for the women. The guys kind of sound a little different, but not super different. And there's a character in this story called Faerie who's kind of westerny looking, or like in the description she kind of sounds like she could be a little bit of like a gunslinger and stuff, and he does like such an awful, I think he's probably trying to do a southern or like a Texan accent for her, and it's just no good. And he's doing that too with the squirrel cats, which I just would not even thought to give the main squirrel cat a southerny drawly accent. So it's so funny. But yeah, Eric's really enjoying just the snarkiness and like the foul language of the squirrel cats and stuff, so it's fun to read through. There's a big thing, I mean, there's big things that happen throughout this whole book, but there's a really big thing that just happened that's going to be the turning point of events from where I just read. So looking forward to reading more of that and getting through that. I think I've got about 5.5 hours left. So listening at a faster speed, it's not actually going to take me that long. So I should probably have this done by tomorrow at the latest. And then I don't have a physical book going anymore. So the next book I'm going to pick up is Blanca y Roja by Anna Marie McLemore. I love this cover because there's a swan in it. But I also love the cover, like the color of the hardback. It's so beautiful. So really looking forward to diving into this. It's the third path, or the third prompt in my Make Your Myth Taker path to become a fairy, which is to read a book with woodlands or the forest. And this does take place in a forest, near a bevy of swans. It is a Swan Lake retelling, a little bit. I don't know how much influence it pulls from Swan Lake, and I only know the ballet. I don't know like the actual story, and I kind of, I guess, know like the Barbie ballet movie, but not the actual story, which I think might be Hans Christian Andersen. There was a quote at the beginning that the author had put in before the part one, and it says, they took a quote from Snow White and Red Rose from the Brothers Grimm, and also The Wild Swans by Hans Christian Andersen. So I don't know if that's like the proper name of the Swan Lake or what have you. But really looking forward to getting into this. I will do so this evening. There's, I want to say just under 400 pages, so should be able to get through this before the weekend is over, which will be good because Monday starts a week-long readathon that is going to be jam-packed already. So I need to have that done before the readathon starts. So yeah, really looking forward to my books. Feeling good about my progress so far. I think I've read 4 books and I've given 3 of them a 4-star rating, which means this month is going to be a really good month for me. Even if I only get like 6 books finished, it'll still be really good ratings wise. So looking forward to seeing how that wraps up, and then also seeing how my second quarter of reading went will be really nice as well. But just wanted to do a quick check-in. I'm going to drink my cocoa now before it gets cold. I think I said last time I'm one of those people who has to reheat their tea like 7 times while I'm drinking it. So I would like to not have that happen while I drink my cocoa. So I'm going to go do some listening to some books and some other things, and I will check in with you when I have another update. Well, I've had plenty of things to update you all on since my last clip, and clearly I did not do that. It's now Sunday, the last day of this vlog, and I haven't picked up my camera in all this time. So, reading updates. I finished Spellslinger. Finished that on Thursday, and then I gave it a 3-star rating just like I did the first time, but enjoyed the reread of that, and I'm definitely looking forward to buddy reading at least the next book and potentially the rest of the series with Eric once we get ready for that. I started listening to Heartless on Audible, which is by Gail Carriger. It's it's like the 4th or 5th book in the Parasol Protectorate series. It's the 4th book. And that's going really well. I think I'm enjoying the storyline in this book a little more than I was in the last book, but I have that through my library right now, and hopefully it doesn't start playing when I open it up, but I will tell you here in just a second how much time I've got left. I've got about 7 hours and 10 minutes left, so I've only listened to about 4 hours and 10 minutes. But I should have that finished up probably. I can probably do it tomorrow because I will be driving for my violin lesson, which will get a good chunk done. And then I'll also have, I'm still off on Mondays for the time being, so I'll be able to listen to that while I'm putzing around the house and stuff. And then I picked up Blanca y Roja on Wednesday, which I just watched the clip and I can't remember. I think I was telling you that was the next book I was picking up. So I did. I've got about 131 pages left. I should be able to finish this tonight, I think. The chapters are all like under 5 pages and stuff, so it's going really, really quickly. The synopsis gave me a different idea of this book than what it really is. I thought the sisters didn't like each other at all, and were kind of battling between each other to see who the bevy of swans that live in the woods near their house was going to take, but it's not the case. I think these sisters are 3 years apart in age. Blanca is the eldest, and she's a lot closer to their mom than Roja is. She's a lot closer to their dad. but Blanca has basically been like a second mom to Roja, and just like loves her, and they've been trying to kind of make themselves indistinguishable from the swans. So like they're trying to basically do things that the other sister does to make them the same girl, essentially, so that the swans won't be able to pick between them. And then we've got two boys. We have Yearling, who is kind of a rich boy in town, who ends up, he's got lots of family history and just not good things going on there, and he ends up wandering into the woods, and there's magical realism aspects to it. And then basically his best friend Paige is transgender. So Paige is a boy, but she likes to be called she or he. She just doesn't want to be called a girl or like young lady or things like that. And she ends up following after Yearling, or Barclay's his real name, but the chapter titles are called Yearling, into the woods, and like magical realism-y things happen there. And so the boys come into Blanca and Roja's lives as the bevy of swans has like landed in their yard, and they're basically about ready to decide which sister they're going to take and turn into a swan. So I'm really enjoying that. Other than that, I've been reading a lot. We've been busy this weekend with the kiddo. It's Father's Day today. Yesterday was kind of a rainy day. We played games pretty much all day long. We played Sequence and Rumicube. I also have the Disney Villains game. I've got just the regular game, which is the green box, and then I have the purple expansion pack. So we played that yesterday and today, and then we also played like Kings in the Corner and things like that. Friday we started watching Artemis Fowl, and we finished it Saturday, which was alright. It was definitely different than the books. I reread the books. I reread most of the books just a couple years ago, and then like finished the series officially. And the events and like the plot of the movie I don't think lines up with any of the books. They kind of like took a couple different elements and then made its own little sort of plot line and stuff, but you still have the characters and things like that. So it was a lot of fun to watch. I think Maddie enjoyed it, even though Friday he was falling asleep. His bedtime here is 8 o'clock, and he was nodding off at like 7:15. So I think he enjoyed what he saw. But yeah, basically just a busy family-filled weekend, and it's been really nice. That means if I finish Blanca y Roja tonight, I only have one book to carry over into next week, which I think will be okay. I am participating in 2 readathons next week, so I don't think I want the books that I carry over to count towards the readathon. Typically I don't. I like to start new books for readathons, but it's also the end of the month next week, so I guess whatever I can fit in wherever I can will work. But yeah, my camera's about to die, so I am going to go ahead and end this vlog here. I hope you enjoyed your week and your reading as well. And if you've read any of these books or would like to read any of these books, I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will chat with you there until my next video. Bye!